Right, it's a quick little video. Hello everybody. Just a quick little video how to repair a fishing rod. Snapped. As you can see, look, it's proper went. I was pulling some weed out at the time. I didn't even have a fish on it, to be honest, but it's yeah, it just went straight away. So yeah, I watched a few videos on YouTube, but this one, I mean, it's just a quick brief. There's probably hundreds on how to do it, but I bought this epoxy kit, which is like a 3 parts. You've got your 2 parts your 2 parts resin and your 1 part hardener. But with this mix, I'm gonna tack it, brush it with a coat. I'm gonna mix up some in a plastic cup. I'm gonna mix that up, and you're supposed to do it a mix ratio of 100 parts resin to 30 parts per parts hardener. So basically 3-to-1 mix of the epoxy and the hardener. It's a simple kit. I mean, this didn't cost that much from eBay. Gloves, there's your tape, which is your releasing tape, and your sanding, 120 and a 240 grit sand, and obviously your fiberglass. I bought a couple of brushes from Tool Station. Basically they're 30p each, cost next to nothing. I mean, I could have bought a new rod, but they're quite expensive, and I thought, why not? I love this little rod, and I've been using it. Me and my son have been using it for years now, and it just went. So I thought, save buying a new one rather than just be able to keep this one. I thought I'd repair it. So yeah, it looks pretty straightforward. It's a split, so it's not actually broken. So what I do is I'll measure this around, and that's probably about the right length actually. I'll cut it to the length. Where I've taped it, I've already sanded it down. I've already keyed it all up, got all the existing epoxy like glaze coat off the top there. And what I'll do is I'll cut this to size, about that long up to there. Cut it to length, so, and then just enough so that it wraps around twice. But first of all, I have to mix up the epoxy coat, and then we'll see how we go. Once I've mixed that there and brushed it over, I've got to let it set till it's tack dry for about 2 or 3 hours, until it's sort of just grips on your fingers, and then basically lay this round, put it round, mix up the next cup, and then paint that over, and as you fold it over, paint it on again, and then basically put your tape on, put your tape over the top, and that basically squidges it all down nicely. You'll get some seepage out the sides, and then you leave it to set for probably, I think it's about, they say gelation time is about 8.5 to 10.5 hours, but 24 hours, and it should be dry in a nice warm temperature. That is between, say, 20 to 25 degrees, or maybe more. It'll set probably quicker, between 20 to 30. Right, I'm just going to mix up the epoxy resin now with a hardener, and I just do this 3-to-1. So what I do is, first of all, I get the scales ready, and say for instance, if I pour in, I think I want about, a quarter of this. I want to have 2 sessions with this, so maybe, oh, there's quite a bit in there. Half in there. So I just keep pouring it. There we go, 1, 2, 3. How much we got there? That's used about, what we use there. It's not a lot. I'll keep going with that. This is just to tack it on first of all. So if I do 6 of those, I'll do 6 of that, 6 of the resin. And there's There's my other cup ready for the second session. Right, and there's the hardener. So I want 3 to 1. So I've got 6 in there. 6 grams. Let's have a look at that. And I'll just put 2 grams of hardener in. So I'll just top that up to 8, 7, 8. That's it. It's quite. How much have we got of that left? It's quite a bit actually. Yeah, that's right. That's right actually. So then I'll just mix this together. Make sure it's all mixed up. And that's it. Once I've mixed this up, of course, it's got a nice smell to it. But now, what I'll do is now I'll put the rod. Set this in there. And I keep mixing this up so it's all nice, a nice consistent paste. Let's open the window actually. Just got a bit of a smell to it as. So yeah, just keep mixing the epoxy resin and the hardener. Don't need the scales now. Will later on for the other section. Now this takes a while, so it's not a very quick process. So once I've painted it on, I'm gonna have to wait another 2 to 3 hours till it gets tacky, then roll on the carbon fibre that I've already cut to shape, which is going to go round there twice. Oh, yeah, that's kicking up a bit, that is. It's not really that thick either. I thought it'd be a lot thicker than that, but I suppose that will happen over time. Hang on a minute. Yeah, that's right. Oh yeah. Right, I get one of the brushes. Get one of the brushes, nice little thin brush. Actually, just get some more paper towel. I should have gloves on really with this, but I don't need them at the moment. I need those at the moment. So what I'll do is there should be enough there, a little bit in the bottom, just to coat it. I'll take the tape off now as well. I'll take the tape off so I roughly know where that line is, where I've keyed it up already to. You'll be able to see that through the resin anyway as it dries, as it hardens. And then take that out, give that another little stir. That's it. Last little drop there. Get the brush, put it on the brush, and just lightly go across. I put a towel underneath to catch all the drips. You don't want this to drip though. You want it nice, thin coat. You know what? That's quite interesting because. And then what I'll do is I'll just spin this round so I can see the other side. I know what length I'm going across because I've cut the actual carbon to go right up to the edge there, to the actual eyelet. So I just keep going around, dabbing that on. It will naturally, yeah, I can feel it starting to hard now. But it's nice and warm. It's nice and warm in this garage, so what are we looking at? 24 degrees in here. Sun's out outside. And this will give me the rest of this resin in the pot. Give me an idea of when it's actually starting to harden. And if you can see, you've got a nice, there's a nice shiny consistency all the way around. fibre coming out there. Look. I'll roll it around. Yeah, I think there's enough there. Put the rest back in the pot. This will be hard anyway. Once it starts to tack, I won't use this. Once it starts to get tacky, I may be able to use it actually. But then once this gets tacked dry, tacked dry, then I'll be able to lay the carbon on top and then roll it around and start mix up some more, and then that's it, finished. Wrap it up and put the tape around and it's done. Right, that's that. It seems to be nice and smooth. There's no drips underneath. So now I've just got to wait 3 hours. So fast forward 3 hours. Right, now fast forward 3 hours. This is tack dryer. You can just feel it, it's a little bit tacky now, so it's perfect for putting the carbon on. And then as I put the carbon on, I'll paint some more of the epoxy resin on with a hardener, and then wrap it round, which I'll do that now. So let's get the cup and some type of stirrer or whatever, switch the scales on, and then we'll do a 3-to-1 mix of the epoxy resin with a hardener. So is the resin, we've got there 0 grams, so I'll probably do the same again. Might need a little bit more actually, so if I do, say, what you got there, it's like a measure scale on the side. What will be at there? Oh, it says it actually. There we go. Well, pour it into, say, 6. I reckon we could do the same again actually, 6. And if I need any more, I'll just mix that up. Epoxy resin, here we go. I'll take it up to about 5. 6 grams. Right, that's pretty much the same as before. 6 grams. I mean, we're only painting it on actually, so that's 6. You know what, I might even double that just to be on the safe side, because I've got 2 pots of it, so I've got 2 pots, there's plenty left. But I can really feel that fibre poking in my hand actually. Right, let's put that in. I want 7 there. 7. Right, they give us 2 pots in this kit, so there's another one. And I've got it on 7 grams at the moment, so what I'll do is if I just take it up to 9, there you go. If I take it up to 9, that leaves me with a bit for something in the future. And we get the hardener, so we're on 9 grams. I'll just add another 3 grams, so that's 3-to-1. Not sure what the weight of the cup is, so I might give it an extra gram for the weight of the cup. So I'll take that up to 10. Ooh. 9. 10. No, 9, it should be 12 actually, so let's take that up to 12. 11, 12. I think that'll be enough. The hardener, and then just give that a good old stir. Mix that up, and now what I'm doing is just mixing the epoxy now in a fresh cup with the hardener. And once I've mixed this up, I'll lay the carbon onto the actual rod, and then I'll wrap it round till it touches the first, as it starts to overlap, and then paint some on the undersurface of the new side, and then slowly wrap it round, and then the last thing is the actual tape. But yeah, just give that a good mix. Smells quite a bit, that does. sure it's a nice, all nicely mixed in, the hardener with the epoxy, with the resin. It's really fluid actually, it makes you wonder how it's actually going to harden, but it does do it. I mean, what was that, 3 hours ago almost? Since then I've had a nice little barbie on the pizza oven, about 3 pizzas, a couple of beers. Yeah. Now do this, sun's going down, so losing a bit of light into the garage windows there, but yeah, that's mixed up nicely. So if I leave that, let the air bubbles come out of it as well. Maybe I should have yeah, let the air come out of that. And now what we do is, with the carbon wrap, let's take that bit off. And what I do is I slowly wrap this around. Put the gloves on for this, I think, because you're handling the carbon fibre. You don't want none of that on your hands. And also, when you're sanding this off afterwards, you don't want to be, you want to wear a mask. You don't want to be breathing in carbon fibre or glass fibre dust. That's not very good for you. Alright. So now this is over the area. This is over the area where the brake is. So as I roll it around, I just touch that against there, and you see that sticking. That's where that's nice and tacky from the first coat. So roll that along, roll the fingers down, and that's taking now. It's taking nicely onto that there. And keep turning the. We don't want that. Right, if I turn this, roll it round. It should stay on there, and then what I do is now. I get the brush, tool station brush, take that out. Yeah, all the air, a lot of the air bubbles have come out there. I take the air, take the little brush, brush that in there. You don't want it too sticky. Run that across. That's it. Drop that in there, bring that over. As you bring that round, tuck that under there. Now coat on the underside of the actual carbon. Here we go. Coat the underside of the carbon as you bring it round. You can't really see because my hand's in the way there, but what I'm doing is I'm just coating the other side, so as this goes over, right, it's been about 18 hours now. Last night I managed to get the carbon fibre round and put some more epoxy on there. What I found was, I mean, it's not too bad. What I found was the carbon fibre sheet, because it's a small circumference, the carbon fibre sheet was quite thick and rigid, and it wouldn't mould around. I think you need a thinner sheet for something with a smaller circumference. The sheet needs to be a lot thinner so it takes to the tackiness. But yeah, I let it go tacky, put it on, put another coat of epoxy on there, and then wrapped it in the tape. Well, I undid the tape about 3 or 4 hours ago, and it was still quite soft. It's not dry, but like I say, 18 hours, and total demold time is 30 hours. So I've retaped it up, pushed it down, but it seems actually quite, it's already quite rigid. So another 12 hours and I should be taking the tape off. I'll sand it all down and then give it another coat of the hardener and the epoxy, and then that should be done. Then give it a nice clear coat finish, and then that should be good to go then. And next thing is to give it a try, but I'll show you the next stage in a little while. Like I say, I've got to wait another 12 hours now till it's fully to a stage where it's hardened. So yeah, it's all good at the moment, and it seems quite strong. It's not too bad. But I think as well, I noticed on the instructions, this is the AT30 hardener, which is quite a slow one. So yeah, 30 hours. I think some are a lot quicker, but it depends which one you buy. But like I say, £12 for the kit, and if it repairs the rod and gets it functional again, then we're good to go. Right, this is all dry now. Checked it this morning. It's obviously 30 hours. It's all nice and dry. I gave it a sand. I gave it with the coarse, sanded it down with a coarse 120 and then the fine 240 sandpaper. So that's all sanded down. It's not too bad. Bits, some lumps and bumps here and there, but it's all the way across its length. It's got the strength there. It feels quite good as well. So now what I'm doing is I'm mixing up the last bit of epoxy resin just to paint over the top to give it that gloss finish. And I've it's all nice and sanded down, so it's all keyed up ready. It's just a matter of mixing this on, mixing all this up, 3 to 1. 3 parts resin to 1 part. What I did is put it on the scales, put in 3 grams of resin and 1 gram of the hardener. So I mean, that's exactly how I did it yesterday, and it's really strong. So yeah, just take care mixing this up. Don't get it on your fingers or hands, and keeping it away from your face because of the smell. And now, once I've mixed all that up, I'll start painting that on, and then once that's all painted on, I'll just leave that to dry. Make sure it's a nice thin coat so it doesn't drip, catching the drips underneath and along the top. And then that should be all be ready. Fishing tomorrow, and be able to test it out. Hopefully it should be okay. I think it will. Just keep doing this and then let it sit for a second, get the air bubbles out. It's amazing how strong this actually is without it. I mean, this is probably ready to use now, but like I say, just to cosmetic, give it that last little bit of resin on the top. Obviously turn it around, but yeah, I think that's probably done it actually. Oh, that is strong, that stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna be going fishing tomorrow in lakes at Dartford with my son, so I'll take a couple of rods anyway. So if this is not ready, I'll just leave it, but I think from now till tomorrow, say 10 o'clock in the morning, it's 24 hours, so should be ready. Right, if I just get some more tissue. Yeah, so what basically you get the kit, you get the epoxy, you get the sanding paper, 240 fine and the 120. You get your epoxy resin, your hardener, you get the tape, the releasing tape, which basically squeezes it all together. As you after you finish wrapping it, you put your tape on, wrap it all the way around, and then you leave that to set for about 30 hours. After about 24 hours you can take the tape off and then just leave it open. But yep, right, that's ready to paint on now. It's all mixed in. Leave that. I'll just brush this on. Oh, look at that, nice and shiny, nice shiny coat. Let's move these scales out of the way. Oh, look at that, that looks nice, nice and shiny. I can turn that. Little dip in there, some more resin. Yep, once this is painted on, I'll just leave this to dry now and that'll be all ready for tomorrow. And that's it basically. And I might do a video fishing tomorrow, testing it, see how we go. That's it, nice and even all the way along on the parts that I sanded up, and that's it, yeah. So that is how you repair a snapped rod section. Pretty straightforward really, unless you've got the money to buy a new rod. It's perfect. Still got to do a bit more there. Thanks for watching.